Hello, I'm Mr. Rosidlo, and thank you for watching. I want to give you some basic information about the integrated math class. The syllabus can be found on the Canyon Hills website. I welcome texts from parents at any time. Here's my cell number. And students can see me after school by appointment any day of the week. Let's talk about the two categories of grading. In this class, we have one category where the student's work is graded, and that makes up 25% of their grade. The other category is tests, which make up the other 75% of the grade. As far as the work goes, the first thing to know is that the due date in PowerSchool of August 12th is a bit misleading. This is the first day of school, and one might look at this and think, oh, there was a 1-point assignment on the first day of school. That is not at all what the work assignment means. The work assignment, despite the misleading due date, is a culmination of all the work that the students have done for the entire semester. Let's pretend, for example, that we're a week into school and the students have had several assignments, as you can see here. Individual assignments do not appear in PowerSchool. But let's take this student as an example. This student so far in the semester has earned about 31 out of 44 possible points. Now, despite the fact that they may have missed a homework here and gotten a bad grade on an assignment there, this student seems worthy of getting credit for their work. So what I would do is give this student the 1 point out of 1 for their work. So if you see that a student has a 1 out of 1 point for the work, what that means is that, by my opinion, they're essentially caught up and are doing everything that they're supposed to do. Again, you won't see individual assignments in PowerSchool. If, by contrast, a student has a 0 on the work, that means that there's something that they should have done that they didn't do, and they should see me immediately, and you can feel free to text me immediately and find out what it is the student is doing or should be doing to get that full point back for the work. The test category has assignments that are graded on a 4-point rubric. To meet the standard means that the student can essentially do all the problem types. To exceed a standard, the student has to be able to explain and understand the underlying math behind all the procedures and to be able to do a challenging problem for that particular standard. Here's how students' grades are calculated. Suppose it's partway through the semester, a student has credit for their work, and we've taken 4 tests and these are their scores. This calculation would lead to the student's grade. These are the category percentages, the 25% for their work and 75% for tests. The 1 out of 1 is the credit they receive for their work. And in this example, the 2.25 would be the student's test average up until that point that they're being graded. This works out on a calculator to be a 67.2%. Here's the grading scale for the class, so we can see that this student has a high C and almost a B in the class. These percentages may seem strange, they're not traditional. And while there's a tendency to look at these and think, oh, you only need 50% for a C, it's so much easier to get a C than it used to be. These percentages are actually calculated based on the 4-point grading rubric, and they make a lot of sense when you look at them this way. In order to get an A or 88% in the class, a student would have to keep up and keep current on their work and get mostly 3s and a few 4s on tests. To get a B in the class, a student would have to keep current on their work and get half 3s and half 2s on tests. To get a C in the class, a student would have to keep current on their work and get mostly 1s and a few 2s on tests. So as strange as these percentages seem, they are based in the reality of the 4-point rubric. Students can retake tests once if they're not happy with a particular test grade. Suppose at the end of the semester, these are a student's test scores. The student can opt during the last week of the semester to take any or all of the tests that they want one more time. Suppose, for the sake of argument, that this particular student decided to take 3 tests again based on their knowledge of the subject and their scores. And suppose these were the scores on their retakes. For the first score, you can see they did worse on the retake than the original test. The student always keeps the higher of the 2 scores, so that one would disappear. On the other 2 retakes, you can see that the student did better the second time, and therefore their scores would be changed to the higher, and their grade would be recalculated using those new scores. Thank you so much. Please feel free to contact me anytime. I'm here to help.